So unit number 3, numerical methods. Numerical methods. This unit is very important to you because many more applications are from this unit, like interpolation or solution of differential equations with the help of numerical techniques. Actually, basically, uh, suppose if we have a data in the form of some inputs and outputs, and if you want to uh, if you want to get the value in between the two observations, suppose, then you can get randomly at any point at any position you can get the value with the help of numerical techniques, with the help of the given data. So all those techniques are based on the numerical calculations. That is why the name is numerical methods or numerical analysis. So mainly here we are going to discuss the topics of interpolation. First is interpolation. Second is numerical differentiation. And third one is numerical integration. Fourth one is actually the applications of numerical to solve the differential equations. Differential equations. So mainly these are the topics we are going to discuss throughout the unit in detail. Okay. So let's start with the first one, interpolation. So for that we need some uh, basically what is meant by interpolation. Interpolation is a polynomial approximation. We are going to approximate a polynomial from the given data, and with the help of that polynomial we can get the value required at any instance, at any point, at any position. That is what the interpolation polynomial approximation. First one is polynomial approximation. So many times we have come across a situation where the function y equal to f of x is not known. The function y equals to f of x is not known to us. Instead of that, we can have the values of dependent and independent variable. Right. So all that is known as us is that the function takes certain numerical values. That is, for certain numerical values of x, will be having the values of y. You might have seen such things in the graphical representation of the given data, where x values and y values are given to us. Isn't it? So those certain values x1, x2, and so on like this. Okay. So with the help of this, we can represent a function y equal to f of x with the help of interpolation. Okay. So in other words, function is not explicitly defined, but a set of values are available which satisfy the relation y equal to f of x. So this y equal to f of x is not explicitly defined, like y equal to say x square plus 2x plus 3. This is explicitly defined. But if any function is not explicitly defined, it is defined with the help of such numerical values. Then we can get the value of function, and then once we have function, you can get the required value in between these two observations. Okay. In such case, we may consider a polynomial y equals to, in general, we may consider a polynomial y equals to a naught plus a1x plus a2x square plus and so on a n x raised to n. Okay. Where the order pair, suppose this is initial value, say x naught, this is y naught, this value is y naught. Here we have x1, here we'll be having corresponding y1 and so on. So we'll be having the order pair x naught, y naught, x1, y1 and so on, xn, yn, which satisfy this equation. Okay. So all the points xi, yi lie on the curve. This is actually the curve. We don't know if it is linear, then that will be a straight line. If it is quadratic, then that will be a parabolic curve. If it is cubic, then that will be a curve of this form, isn't it? If this equation is linear, quadratic, cubic or bi-quadratic, accordingly we'll be having its nature. So all these points satisfy this curve or equation of the curve. Nevertheless, we cannot say that the equation, that this equation 1 precisely defines the function y equals to f of x, because the value other than xi, yi may satisfy the function. Okay. So since we have given these table values, suppose, so it doesn't mean that these are the only values which satisfy this, we can say, equation or a polynomial. Okay. The values other than these given points can also satisfy this equation. Okay. So those values we may ask in the exam. Find the point at which this function gets satisfied. So we call the polynomial, this polynomial equation 1, as a polynomial approximation of the function y equals to f of x. Suppose given 2 points x naught, y naught and x1, y1, we can find a polynomial of degree 1. Namely, how do I find? Suppose if I have given the 2 points x naught, y naught and x1, y1, then we can write a polynomial function which namely can be written as y equals to a naught plus a1x, which is the equation of straight line. Okay. We can find the second degree polynomial, that is y equals to a naught plus a1x plus a2x square, passing through the 3 points. Okay. So if we have given a 2 points, then with the help of these 2 points, we can get a straight line joining these 2 points, or straight line passing through these 2 points, which is of this form. If we have 3 points, x naught, y naught, x1, y1, x2, y2, then the curve passing through these points, 3 points, will be a equation or polynomial equation of order 2. Quadratic equation, we can say, which is of the form y equals to a naught plus a1x plus a2x square. If you have 4 points, then we will get a cubic equation, which is or that curve is passing through the 4 points, and so on. Okay. So according to the given set of points, we can guess the nature of the curve, whether it is linear, quadratic, cubic, or biquadratic, and so on. This will require a determination of 3 unknowns by solving 3 simultaneous equations. Thus, theoretically, it should be possible to determine a polynomial y equals to a naught plus a1x plus a2x square. That is equation 1 I have written there, passing through the n plus 1 points, right? So this equation is passing through 2 points, this equation passing through 3 points. If I have an equation cubic equation which will passes through 4 points, right? So it is not an easy task to solve a system of n simultaneous equations. In section to follow, we shall discuss methods to find an approximating polynomials. It may also be understood that approximating polynomials passing through the set of n plus 1 points can be of first degree, that is straight lines, right? Or of second degree, that is parabola, or of any degree. Before we consider the methods to find polynomial approximations, let us examine Taylor series expansion. I hope you have heard the word Taylor series in M2, right? You might have calculated the series expansions with the help of Taylor series, Taylor's or Maclaurin series, right?
Yes, sir.
So for the function y equals to f of x, we can have a Taylor series expansion. Let me write first of all Taylor's series for y equals to f of x. So what is the Taylor series expansion? Around suppose point expansion around point x is equal to x naught can be written as this function fx can be written in terms of sum of infinite terms. So how do I write? Fx is equals to, yes, fx equals to or y equals to function at x naught plus
x into f of dash
F
x naught.
dash of F dash
actually
of
that x into f of f dash, that is actually the Maclaurin series, isn't it? Maclaurin series is a particular case of Taylor series around a point x is equal to 0. So Taylor series is the general representation of Maclaurin series. So f of x naught plus x minus x naught into
F dash
f
of
dash at
X.
x naught plus x minus x naught the whole square upon 2 factorial into f double dash at x naught plus and so on, right? Plus let me write the nth term also, that will be of this form x minus x naught to the power n upon n factorial f nth derivative of f at x naught plus suppose n plus 1th term will be x minus x naught raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 factorial n plus 1th derivative of f at point x naught plus and so on, right? So here f dash, f double dash, f triple dash, fn plus 1, these are all the derivatives of respective orders like first order, second order or nth order at particular point x not given. Okay. So in general, if I define say this n plus 1th term at a particular point z naught, or simply say zeta, not z, zeta, then this n plus 1th term have its own importance. So it is called the remainder term. Okay. So let me write here the term x minus x naught raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 factorial n plus 1th derivative of f at point zeta, where zeta belongs to the interval AB. Zeta belongs to closed interval AB because we are discussing this expansion, Taylor series expansion in this interval only, in this closed interval AB. So zeta will lies in between this. So this term is called the remainder term. It's called remainder term. So it gives the truncation error. This remainder term gives the truncation error, that is a small error while representing the given function in terms of infinite series. And that error is called the truncation error. When the first n terms of Taylor series expansion are used to approximate the function fx. So let me write the value of truncation error. Therefore, the truncation error let us denote by capital T, which is nothing but modulus of this n plus 1th term, that is x minus x naught raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 factorial n plus 1th derivative of function at zeta. If zeta is so chosen that f raised to n plus 1 of x is maximum for x is equal to zeta in the interval ab, then this truncation error t will be less than or equal to this value. So for zeta belongs to AB, actually zeta belongs to AB, for zeta belongs to AB such that for x is equal to zeta, n plus 1th derivative of this function at x is maximum, then this truncation value t is less than or equal to x minus x naught raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 factorial function value, or n plus 1th derivative of function at zeta. Okay, so let us have an example. So this is all about the Taylor series representation or the expansion, and the particular case of Taylor series at point x is equal to 0 is called a Maclaurin series expansion. Maclaurin series. Have you heard this word? Maclaurin series. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Maclaurin series is the particular case of Taylor series at x is equal to error, x is equal to 0. So f of x is equal to f of 0 plus x into f dash at 0 plus x square by 2 factorial into f double dash at 0, because x naught is 0 here, right? So that is a Maclaurin series representation. Okay, so example, first example, suppose if I write here, obtain a polynomial approximation, obtain a polynomial approximation to fx is equal to e raised to x, e to the power x, around x is equal to 0. That is actually the Maclaurin series using Taylor series expansion. Find the number of terms in the approximation so that the truncation error is less than 10 raised to minus 6. Find the number of terms in the expansion so that truncation error is less than 10 raised to minus 6 for 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 1. So here the interval is given to be 0, closed interval 0. So first of all, let us obtain the Maclaurin series expansion of the given function fx is equal to e raised to x. So as we know, fx is equal to e to the power x. So what is f dash of x? The same. F double dash of x? Same. Right? And so on. So we have been asked to find all these derivatives at x is equal to 0. So what is function value at 0? What is the derivative at 0? 1. What is the double derivative at 0? 1. And so on. Right? So if we substitute all these derivatives along with the point x is equal to 0 into the Taylor series expansion, what we'll get here? Therefore, by Taylor series expansion, what is the expansion? Fx is equals to f at x naught plus x minus x naught raised to f dash at x naught plus and so on, where x naught is given to be 0. And what is fx? Fx is e to the power x, right? So e to the power x can be written as f of x naught is 1, right? Plus x minus 0 into f dash at x naught, that is again 1, plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial plus and so on. Am I clear? यहाँ तक clear है सबको?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the Taylor series, or we can say in particular Maclaurin series expansion of the function e raised to x. Okay. So we have been asked to find the truncation error also. So truncation error, the value of truncation error t is always less than or equal to mod of x minus x naught raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 factorial at or the function, just a minute, the n plus 1th derivative of function at zeta, where zeta is the value at which this n plus 1 derivative is maximum, and that zeta belongs to zeta will vary from 0 to 1. Okay. So therefore, for 0 is less than or equal to zeta is less than or equal to 1, what should be the value of zeta at which the derivative is maximum? What should be the value of zeta from 0 to 1 so that this n plus 1th derivative have its maximum value?
1.
1.
1, exactly. Because at 0, that will be the lowest value, and in between, it can have the value, but at 1, the n plus 1th derivative will have maximum value. So therefore, derivative also and even the function also. Therefore, fx has maximum value at x is equal to 1. So therefore, at that maximum value, at that point where the function has maximum value, we calculate its n plus 1th derivative. So f raised to n plus 1 at 1 will be equals to what? 1. That's sorry. That is not 1, no? What is n plus 1th derivative? That is e raised to x, right? So e raised to x at 1. So that will be e. Am I right? Hello? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that zeta will vary from 0 to 1, so that the function fx will have its maximum value, and at that point where the function has maximum value, we calculate n plus 1th derivative. So therefore, what we have given, we have been asked to find the truncation error is less than 10 raised to minus 6. Okay. So let us write that condition that truncation error is therefore what is our truncation error? Mod of x minus x naught, that is 0. Let me write here x minus 0 raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 factorial, right, into f raised to or f n plus 1th derivative of function at zeta, which is 1, and that is less than or equal to 10 raised to minus 6. So therefore mod of x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 factorial f raised to n plus 1 at zeta is 1, which is less than, sorry, that is not 1, that is e, na? E, that is less than or equal to 10 raised to minus 6. I hope the last step is clear to everyone. Please ask if any doubt. So what we do, we take a maximum value for x. So at maximum value, therefore, taking maximum for x, that is x is equal to 1, what we get? This truncation error 1 raised to n plus 1 is 1 upon n plus 1 factorial is less than or equal to 10 raised to minus 6. Okay. So let us calculate the value of n from this. So what we do, we take logs on both sides. So by taking logs, log of 1 upon n plus 1 factorial. See, we want to split, find the separate value of n. So that is why we have taken log. Is less than or equal to log of 10 raised to minus 6. So therefore, using log property, I can write log of 1 minus log of n plus 1 factorial is less than or equal to minus 6 log of 10.
Sir, e by n plus 1 factorial again.
Is that e just? Yes, sorry. It must be e by. So log e. Exactly. So what is log e? Log e is 1.
1.
So 1 minus log of n plus 1 factorial is less than or equal to minus 6 log of 10. So if I take the 1 to the right hand side, minus log of n plus 1 factorial is less than or equal to 1 minus 6. Minus 1 minus 6, no? Minus 1 minus 6. So what we do? We multiply both sides by minus 1 to merge this minus sign. So what I'll get? Log of n plus 1 factorial is, see, when I multiply both sides inequality by minus 1, inequality gets reverse. So that will be greater than or equal to 1 plus 6 log of 10. Right. So how much, what is the value of log 10? If you have calculated, tell me the value of log 10. Because we can calculate it. See, calculate 1 plus 6 log 10. How much it is? Anyone, please calculate this value.
14.815.
Okay, just a minute. Which is greater than or equal to 14.815. That is 82. All right. log of n plus 1 factorial must be greater than 14.815. So what should be the value of n? I'll calculate the value of n if I take value of n to be 1, starting from 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. And 2 factorial is 2, log 2. What is the value of log 2? Is it greater than 2? Is it greater than 14.815? Log 2?
No.
Check. So for what value of n this log of n plus 1 factorial is greater than 14.815? Just calculate and tell me the value of n. Are you getting my question? I'm asking for what value of n log of 1 log of n plus 1 factorial. This factorial is inside of it. Log of n plus 1 factorial is greater than this value 14.81. So tell me the value of n. So what this n represent? This n represent the number of terms in that series which give the truncation error, which is greater than 10 raised to minus 6. Yes, tell me the value of n. If I take n is equal to 2, then 2 plus 1, 3, 3 factorial is 6. Calculate log 6 and tell me, is it greater than 14.815 log 6?
No, sir.
Okay, then take n is equal to 4, 5. Tell me the lowest value at which this log of n plus 1 factorial is greater than this. Of course, there are infinitely many values, but the minimum, lowest value. Log for n is equal to 5. 5 plus 1, 6, 6 factorial, and log of 6 factorial. Yes, anyone of you? If you have a calculator, you can immediately do that. Lots of noise in the background. Rohan, is it the same now? Rohan Paushik. Okay. So, okay, fine. So, what is the value of n?
Sir, 9. 9.
9. What is the value of log at 9? N is equal to 9.
It is 15.10.
Okay, and that is the lowest value, right?
Yes.
I mean, log at n is equal to 8, that will not be greater than 14.8125.
Yes, it's 12 at n equals to 8.
Okay, great. So n is equal to 9. Finalized value. So we can have a conclusion thus: 9 terms are required for error to be less than 10 raised to minus 6. Okay. You can see the question what we have been asked. Just a minute, let me show you the question. Find the number of terms in the expansion. You can see. Find the number of terms in the expansion so that the truncation error is less than 10 raised to minus 6. So, what is the number of terms or how many terms should be there in the expansion so that truncation error is 10 raised to minus 6? So, that is 9. So, you please write the conclusion at last.
Sir, the value of 9 should be 8, no sir? Sir, then log of 8 plus 1 factorial will be above 15, sir.
Are you sure? N is equal
Yes,
to
sir.
8.
8,
Then 8
yes,
plus
sir,
1
8.
factorial is 9. And log of, sorry,
9
log of 9
factorial.
factorial.
Is above 14.815, 15, that is
What is
15.15.
that value? Just calculate that n is equal to, for n is equal to 8, that will be 9 factorial. So calculate 9 factorial value and calculate its log. Is it greater than?
Sir, it is
It
12.8.
is 12. Huh? That is what he said. Huh? He's saying what? So that is why I asked to him to calculate. Was that Jay or
No, sir. I guess
Saurabh,
it was
sir.
Saurabh.
Saurabh? So just calculate, please, and tell me whether it is 8 or 9.
Sir, if we find the log of 9 factorial, then the value
Uh-huh.
will come that 15.01.
Have you calculated?
Yes, sir, I have calculated, sir.
Sir, I guess log of 10 factorial is 15.10.
Yes, sir.
And log of 9 factorial?
It is something like
12.8.
1.8.
Okay, so 8 must, sorry, n must be 9 then, Saurabh. If n is
Right,
equal to
sir.
8,
I will
then
check,
that
sir,
will
once
be,
again.
just check. Anyway, just check 8 or 9, but I hope the point is clear now what we are doing here. We have calculated. So write at last, that is the thus 9 terms are required. Thus 9 terms are required for error to be less than 10 to the power minus 6. Is this clear to everyone? Any doubt, any questions? Please ask. Or just reply in chat box if it is clear. Yes, everyone, please do reply in chat box. So that we can proceed. Only Sakshi have no doubt. Now Vishika. So just calculate and tell me. So let us proceed now with the interpolating polynomial. Interpolating polynomial. Okay. So just now we have discussed polynomial approximation of the function fx. When a function is defined by means of set of values or set of order pair xi, yi, right? Polynomial approximation ideally should satisfy the given set of values. We may now use this approximative polynomial to find the values of y corresponding to the value of x, which may lies between these set of values. Okay? This means if x varies over the interval AB, closed interval AB, and if the table values xi, yi, xy is available for some distinct values of x lying in the interval AB, we can find approximating polynomial. Which we denoted by p of x, and use this to find the value of y for any given value of x. Thus, it is called the interpolation. Approximating polynomial is called interpolating polynomial. We can also use this polynomial to find the value of y for x lying outside in the interval AB. This is termed as extrapolation, right? So there are two terms, interpolation and extrapolation. Suppose see here, if we have given the set of points x, x and y like this, say 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, and corresponding values of y, any values 3, 5, 7. Okay, and if we ask, so with the help of this set of values, if we ask to find the value of y corresponding to x is equal to 2.5, so do we have the direct value of y corresponding to x is equal to 2.5? Do we have the direct value of y corresponding to x is equal to 2.5? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
I'm asking, do we have a value of y corresponding to x is equal to 2.5 in this table?
No, sir.
No. Right? And that x lies in this 2. So in these two x values, 2.5 is lies in between these two. So what we can do, we can find a function which is associated or which is passing through these points, which will be of the form y equal to f of x, and then we can substitute the value of x, which is 2.5 there, to get the required value of y. Right? So we are approximating the given set of values to a function, and that function is called the polynomial approximation or the interpolation. Okay. Being x is in between the values given, that polynomial approximation is called interpolation. And if that x value is outside of the given set of values, then that is called extrapolation. If we ask to find the value of x, if we ask to find the value of y corresponding to x is equal to 5, then we don't have that value, but we can calculate with the help of polynomial approximation, and that approximation is called extrapolation. Extrapolation. We don't have that extrapolation in our syllabus, but it is there in the topic numerical methods. Is this point clear? Extrapolation and interpolation? Hello? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Interpolation and extrapolation. Okay. So thus interpolating polynomial may be used for both the interpolation and extrapolation. So actually this polynomial can be used for both of these extrapolation and interpolation. So the first approximating polynomial is the Lagrange's, just let me write on this page. The first one, Lagrange's interpolation. Lagrange's interpolation. So, what the Lagrange's invented, from the given set of values, he have prepared the polynomial approximation, and he have given his name to the polynomial, that is the Lagrange's polynomial approximation or the Lagrange's interpolation. Okay. So the formula is.
Sir, sorry to disturb, but we have a lecture at 2:30.
Oh. Whose lecture?
EC ma'am. I mean Aarti ma'am.
Okay. Have you got the link for lecture?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We stop here. Sorry. Okay. Thank you, everyone. We stop here. You can leave now.